Auto attendants. Let's talk a little bit about auto attendants. What is an auto attendant? Well, an auto attendant allows callers to be automatically transferred to an extension without the intervention of an operator or a receptionist. Let's go ahead and play an example.
Thank you for calling Global G Real Estate. If you know the party extension you wish to reach, please dial it at any time. To speak to a real estate agent, please dial 2. If you are calling for status on a current transaction, please dial 3. For office location and fax number, please dial 4. If you need immediate assistance, please dial 0 and someone will be right with you.
Building an auto attendant in Contact Center is very easy to do using the administrator software. Before we get started on the worksheet, let's take a look at some of our options within Auto Attendant. We'll start here at the top. Transfer. Transfer allows me to set the auto attendant so that it's transferring to an extension when somebody presses, in this case, 0, or to an outside number that I can specify. Hang up. Hang up is actually typically used down here with bad options or do nothing. A bad option means that if somebody presses a key that has not yet been assigned to that auto attendant, let's say number 9 is not being used on the auto attendant, but somebody presses that, whether it's fat fingering it or they're just trying to bypass or get past the system by, let's say, pressing 0, just trying to get to an agent. And if we're not using the key 0, it would then consider that a bad option. Typically with bad options, most people will play the same auto attendant again the first time, and then sometimes, depending on the type of business, they will either set it to hang up on the person. That way, if they need to get through to somebody, they can press the right key. Or in some cases, depending on whether they are a sales company or, let's say, the healthcare industry, they will then either transfer to a queue or transfer to a specific extension so that they either don't lose that sale, or more importantly, if somebody's life is at risk, they get transferred to the right place. That's how hang up is typically used. Transfer to queue. Well, it just allows you to transfer to specific queues. In this case, you're seeing both extensions as well as SIP addresses, since we have that set up on ours. Auto attendant. Well, this allows you to specify a specific auto attendant. By default, it's going to say this auto attendant. Now, if you look at the drop-down, we have other auto attendants in there. If you use this, let's say for number 3, if I set that up on number 3, what I could have it do is, let's pick another auto attendant, and we'll say, ABC auto attendant. If somebody then presses 3, it will start playing that auto attendant, which will have an entirely different set of options that the caller can choose from. This is called a nested auto attendant. A query. You can have different queries set up. In ours, we have multiple options here, but this is where somebody might be queried to enter their PIN number or enter a phone number. Direct dial. If you know that you have extensions, let's say in the 3,000 range and the 4,000 range and the 5,000 range, and you just want people to have the ability to direct dial, this is where they would say, if you know the extension, please dial it at any time. Well, this is where you, in the example of 3,000, as you see here, it says enter the amount of digits, so I could type in 4. So if I typed in, if my extension that I'm calling is 3200, the 4 represents the amount of digits that I would be dialing. And at that point, the system knows, okay, we'll go ahead and transfer to that extension, instead of listening maybe for an additional digit. Play announcement. This is where I could select an announcement if I wanted it to play, well, let's say a holiday announcement or something like that. Typically, this could be used for directions, for fax number, for information like that that you'd like to have played. Callback. This is in case you want to have the ability for somebody to press a key and then be called back. Level up, it gives you the ability to get back to where you just came from. Just be careful not to use it on a first level or people can get caught in a loop. Leave message. Leave message allows the caller to press a key and then be transferred into a queue mailbox. I would then just need to set my mailbox that I'd like to be saved in, and the message would be left in that mailbox. Name search. If you have name search enabled on your contact center, it will allow you to search based on pressing keys which relate to letters on your keypad of the phone. And lastly, survey. If you have a survey set up, it allows somebody to then be transferred over to a specific survey and take that survey. Let's move on now to take a look at the Auto Attendant worksheet. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the Auto Attendant worksheet. Now, the purpose of this worksheet is to give you an easy way of having a high-level view of your auto attendants, especially when you may be using multiple nested auto attendants. Additionally, it allows non-administrators or those who don't have access to the administrator software to design and review the auto attendants. Taking a look here, let's talk about using the worksheet. When I open the worksheet, the first thing I'm going to look at is the very bottom and find the table of contents. It's the furthest tab to the left. Once I'm on that table of contents, you'll notice across the top I have AA Level 1, AA Level 2, and so on. What this is representing is nested auto attendants within this first main day auto attendant. So we'll look here and we say, all right, on this main day auto attendant, if I was to select this by just simply clicking, it brings me to my main day auto attendant tab at the bottom, which will then show me my options. And as we've discussed, we have bad option 1, bad option 2, do nothing. So looking here, this column, the first column, file name, what we're representing there is the name of the audio WAV file that was recorded for us by a professional to import into our auto attendants. If you're using your own professional, if you're using your own voice for that matter, you can very simply either record into software and then import it as I'm doing here, or you can record it directly onto the auto attendant as you're creating it. The next column is our script. Now, I really do suggest you go ahead and put in the script. This makes it a lot easier, especially visually as you're looking at it, to say, oh, okay, when they press 1, it's going to say, for the sales department, press 1. It's just a very easy way to go ahead and reference things. And over here, we have our actions taken. This is where you want to put where, if they press whatever it may be, let's say in this case, number 1, it is going to send them then to an auto attendant called Sales AA. You'll notice that I have auto attendant Sales AA hyperlinked. This is because when I click on it, it will then take me to yet another auto attendant, which we can see down here is Sales Day AA. And you're probably starting to catch on that these tabs down here represent the different auto attendants. However, up above, we have our hyperlinks that would automatically link us to those different auto attendants. We have our table of contents, which clicking on that takes us right back to the front page. And once again, I'll go to my main auto attendant. And in this case, I'm going to press number 3, which would take me to extension 3400. Now that, of course, does not have a hyperlink on it. However, let's say I wanted to change this. So I'll go ahead and delete this out. Whoops, it moved it right over. And instead, I want this to link to my service department. So I'm going to put in here, service department, what you type isn't as important as where it's linked to, meaning you don't have to have these brackets on the end. That's just the way that we've done this here. So if I go ahead and highlight this and choose Control and choose Control, letter K, like kangaroo. Now, in order to hyperlink this, I'm going to hit Control and the letter K, like kangaroo, and then I want to choose Place in this document. So what I'm telling the system is I want to insert a hyperlink that when I click on that selection, it is going to then take me somewhere within this document, meaning these tabs down at the bottom. I will now select Service Department and click on OK. So now, if I was to press number 3, I would be linked to my Service Department Auto Attendant. Now let's do that again. Let's change this one here where it says to check on the status of a vehicle. We'll go ahead and show this. Now I see it's being transferred to extension 3502. If I double click, remove that, I can then put in Auto Attendant. And for now, just for the sake of demonstration, I'll put in Sales Day Auto Attendant. And now I'll click away and click right back. And here's where I can then press Control K like kangaroo. And then I'm going to have it transfer, as I said, to my Sales Day Auto Attendant. And now you see the hyperlink is created. I can click it, and it takes me right over to that Auto Attendant. And that concludes our Auto Attendant worksheet video. For more information, make sure to check out our Learning Center. Thank you.